Now to new developments around Crimea's joining Russia. President Obama has signed an executive order that gives the U.S. the authority to impose sanctions not just on Russian individuals, but also, as he said, on different sectors of the Russian economy. President Obama also said the sanctions, if imposed, would be disruptive not only to Russia, but also to the global economy. Washington has earlier targeted 11 Russian officials, barring them from entering the U.S. and freezing their assets here, which many of them said they didn't have. Moscow responded with a similar move. RT's Anastasia Churkina has the details.
Things are definitely continuing to tense up here in Washington, D.C. We've heard from U.S. President Barack Obama say that Washington is imposing new sanctions on further Russian individuals and a bank. Part of that new list of individuals includes the State Duma Speaker, that's the lower house of Russia's parliament, as well as the head of the presidential administration in Russia. This, of course, comes as Russia takes Crimea to be part of its own territory. This is just yet another step from the United States in terms of taking action to respond to what it considers to be an illegal process. This is what the U.S. president said.
I signed a new executive order today that gives us the authority to impose sanctions not just on individuals, but on key sectors of the Russian economy. This is not our preferred outcome. These sanctions would not only have a significant impact on the Russian economy, but could also be disruptive to the global economy.
The U.S. President Barack Obama signed an executive order that basically provides the U.S. with the option to impose sanctions on key sectors of Russian economy. And we do know that the sectors in question are energy, financial services, metal and mining, engineering, and defense. In response, of course, this was quite expected. Russia has come up with its own list of individuals that it's going to be sanctioning for now with a ban of entry into Russia. These people include the Speaker of House of Representatives, U.S. Senator John McCain, as well as aides to U.S. President Barack Obama and congressmen and others. So also it's important to note that Obama has said for now that the military option obviously continues to not be something that the U.S. is considering, that a diplomatic option remains. While certainly these sanctions, it's no secret, being imposed on Russia are going to create difficulty between the two countries because there's certainly plenty of issues that the U.S. needs Russia's cooperation on the international arena. As tensions continue to be high between Russia, the U.S. and West, it's important that this entire crisis has been surrounded really by a huge flow of misinformation. For more on that, let's now go to my report.
A shooting in Crimea creates a stir in the international community. The spokesperson for the U.S. State Department, Jen Psaki, posts a tweet saying, "Stop the shooting in Simferopol. Clear that Russia fired the first shot." We went to a press briefing and asked Psaki what this very serious allegation was based on.
In the tweet, you're saying that it's clear that it actually fired a shot first, and that's a pretty serious allegation. So we're just curious.
Well, let me just say, we don't see how it's possibly true that the Russian claim that that someone else was the aggressor, that the Ukrainians were the aggressor, can possibly be true, given they entered the Ukrainian base.
They're not saying that. They're saying it's a provocation, whereas you're saying that it's very clear. And
they have said that a little bit. I think we're ready to move on. Do we have another topic?
An accusation against Russia has been made, but there's no room for an explanation.
Those tweets are not based on any credible evidence. She's just talking, she's creating headlines, and of course, most importantly, she's feeding the U.S. media, the corporate-owned media, the echo chamber, new lines so that they can keep up the drumbeat of demonization against Russia.
Such misinformation is not only coming from an official government body responsible for U.S. foreign policy, but also through Twitter pages directed at Russian readers, to whom the Psaki tweet was also addressed. Like this Russian-language Twitter page called Ukr Progress, set up by the State Department, which has been tweeting unattributed allegations like this one, accusing Vladimir Putin of allowing one Ukrainian serviceman to be shot dead.
This is the new State Department spokesperson who took the place of Victoria Nuland, who was the spokeswoman provocateur behind supporting the Maidan protests, including the far-right elements. She's not functioning right now as a diplomat, and she's not functioning right now as some sort of objective spokesperson. This is a propaganda machine.
In the media war against Russia, U.S. officials seem to be inventing the rules as they go along, from flip-flopping on their own principles depending on their current geopolitical focus to feeding an endless stream of misinformation while ignoring the need to explain not only highly questionable but also dangerous statements. Anastasia, Churkina, RT, Washington, D.C.